Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm California Attorney General Rob Bonta, and I'm pleased to be joined today by Bakersfield Police Chief Greg Terry. And I'd like to begin by thanking two groups of people. First, the California Department of Justice's Civil Rights Enforcement Section for their persistence and determination in securing the critical reforms we'll be speaking about this morning. And second, I'd like to also express my sincere gratitude to those on the front line who keep us safe, our public safety professionals in Bakersfield and across the state, including the Bakersfield Police Department officers who will be instrumental in implementing today's reforms. Today, we are announcing that the California Department of Justice has entered into a stipulated judgment with the City of Bakersfield and the Bakersfield Police Department. This legal agreement aims to reform and improve the Bakersfield Police Department's policies and practices. It will work to strengthen trust between the community and law enforcement, something which has never been more critical. In recent years, all across California and the nation, we've heard the calls for change to how we police. They have been loud, they have been clear. We've heard them in Bakersfield. The community spoke out about a number of practices, including concerns around excessive force and other serious misconduct. When communities speak out about injustice, it's our job as leaders, not just listen, we must take action to correct it. That's what today's agreement with the city and its police department is all about. As a result of this judgment, the city of Bakersfield and its police department will engage in a comprehensive set of corrective actions, which will be overseen by an independent monitor to promote public safety, improve oversight and accountability, increase support for officers, and protect the constitutional rights of all people in Bakersfield. We arrived at this judgment because following an outcry of complaints from the community and reports in the media, California Department of Justice launched an investigation that, in our estimation, revealed that the Bakersfield Police Department failed to uniformly and adequately enforce the law, leading to a pattern or practice of conduct that deprived Bakersfield residents of their constitutional protections. Following our comprehensive investigation, we allege that the Bakersfield Police Department's conduct resulted in, among other actions, unreasonable use of force, unreasonable stops, searches, arrests, and seizures, the use of unreasonable deadly force against those with mental health disabilities, the failure to provide meaningful access to police services to individuals with limited English proficiency, the failure to provide equal employment opportunities, the failure to adequately address civilian complaints, and the lack of a comprehensive community policing program. These are serious allegations, and I'd like to thank the Bakersfield Police Department for being willing to address them, both by implementing constructive action, as well as by working to resolve our findings by entering into today's judgment. The steps the department has already implemented to improve its practices include the following. 1, outfitting officers with body cameras. 2, volunteering to collect data early under the Racial and Identity Profiling Act, or RIPA. And 3, starting a community collaboration initiative. To address the community's concerns and our investigation's findings, we've worked with the police department and the city to build on these initial actions by cooperatively establishing a 5-year plan to implement an extensive range of corrective actions. Those corrective actions include the following. The Bakersfield Police Department will revise use of force policies and principles and strengthen training, including a focus on de-escalation and other best practices prohibiting the use of tasers on handcuffed individuals and children, requiring employees to avoid restraining a subject face down whenever possible, and clearly defining what qualifies as an imminent threat, justifying lethal force in a manner consistent with California law. The department will also modify canine-related policies and practices. The department will improve use of force reporting, requiring anything above a standard handcuffing to be reported, and holding officers accountable for omissions or inaccuracies in use of force statements. The department will regularly assess trends in use of force data and meet with a community advisory panel to receive input on policies and procedures from community representatives and organizations. The department will analyze the Racial and Identity Profiling Act data to help ensure bias-free policing. The department will ensure stops, searches, and seizures comply with the law and do not contribute to counterproductive tension with the community. The department will enhance and revise training with respect to investigatory stops, reiterating that race, color, ethnicity, national origin, religion, gender, gender identity, disability, or sexual orientation are not to be used as a factor in establishing reasonable suspicion or probable cause. The department will provide crisis intervention training to all dispatchers and their supervisors. The department will take steps to ensure timely and meaningful access to police services to all members of the Bakersfield community, regardless of their English proficiency. The department will revise its civilian complaint policies to provide clear definitions of conduct that constitutes a complaint, as well as incorporate best practices recommended by the Racial and Identity Profiling Advisory Board. The department will review and revise as necessary the recruitment, hiring, and promotion program to ensure officers reflect the diversity of the Bakersfield community. The department will develop a community engagement plan to ensure collaborative problem solving and bias-free policing, as well as to increase transparency and community confidence. And the department will ensure all allegations of personnel misconduct are received, documented, investigated, and adjudicated, publishing an annual report of personnel complaint data to be made publicly accessible by April 1st of each year. That's a lot. And to be sure, the findings of our investigation demonstrate how critical it is that we take these actions. These reforms are both needed and they are necessary. For Californians who are hurting, trust will not come back overnight, but we cannot afford to be complacent. We can restore public trust and keep our communities and officers safe. This work is not mutually exclusive. We're making a down payment on showing just that today. In our path forward, we must continue to actively listen and engage the community and stay on task in our shared mission to ensure public safety and equal protection for every family. Justice demands no less. I know we will make that happen if we keep moving forward together. So I'd like again to thank the City of Bakersfield, Bakersfield Police Chief Greg Terry, and the Bakersfield Police Department for stepping up to the plate in agreeing to the measures we are announcing today. We got a lot of work to do together, so let's get to work. With my appreciation and thanks to all who joined us today, let me now, it's my pleasure to introduce Chief Terry for his remarks. Chief Terry.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney General, and good morning to everyone. Before I make my remarks, I want to express my deep appreciation and gratitude to the men and women of the Bakersfield Police Department who over the last 4 years demonstrated great professionalism, transparency, and really a collaborative work ethic around this work. I want to thank the City Attorney's Office for their guidance and support over the last several years as well. I want to thank the support of the City Council that has provided the Police Department with significant resources over the years and appreciate their support in moving forward. And I want to thank the Department of Justice team. Although there were times we certainly did not agree, the work environment was professional and collaborative, and I appreciate that very much. The Bakersfield Police Department holds itself to the highest standards of conduct and commitment to all of our residents. We do everything possible to ensure that our community is safe and that our residents are treated with respect. The City Council and the Bakersfield Police Department leadership here with me today unequivocally supports the dedicated men and women of the Bakersfield Police Department, from our dedicated professional staff to the sworn officers who wear a badge, take an oath of service, and risk their own lives every day for our community. In recent years, the California Department of Justice has questioned the police department's policies and procedures. The Attorney General has demanded that an independent monitor be hired to review our policies, training, supervisory practices, accountability processes, and community engagement. We believe the state's concerns are unfounded, and we have nothing to hide. Over the years, courts and judges have consistently validated the police department's efforts to preserve the civil rights of our residents. In response to the state's investigation, the city had two courses of action. We could engage in a costly and divisive legal proceeding with the Attorney General, or we could come to an agreement without finding it of any fault, that puts forth a path for the police department to demonstrate that we are a professional organization, that we are accountable, transparent, and connected to our community. The choice came down to litigating the past or controlling our future, reassuring our community, and moving forward in a positive way. After much deliberation and upon my recommendation, the City Council decided to adopt this agreement. This agreement is detailed and in many ways exceeds state law. It reflects improvements that the police department has already made or was already in the process of making on our own. In the agreement, the Department of Justice explicitly acknowledges the police department's progress. As we move forward, I can say with certainty that the men and women of the Bakersfield Police Department will work diligently to honor this agreement with professionalism, commitment, and integrity. We will hold ourselves accountable and be a strong partner consistent with our mission and responsibilities to the City Council and to the residents that we serve. We are hopeful that the Attorney General and the Department of Justice will work with us in this same way. The decision to adopt this agreement was not an easy one to make, or one that everyone will agree with. But, and let me be crystal clear, the Bakersfield City Council unequivocally supports the police department and its dedicated men and women. Ultimately, the decision to enter into this agreement was rooted in our responsibility to do what we believe is right for all of our residents. Our mission has not changed. We will enforce the law. We will protect this community. We have a path forward, and we accept this challenge. And I look forward to working side by side with the men and women of the Bakersfield Police Department and everyone who is proud to be a Bakersfield resident to demonstrate our unwavering commitment to public safety, equity, and respect for all of our residents. Thank you.